So historically in our country, from time to time, large swaths of Americans develop what we would call an admiration for real-life anti-heroes. In literature and plays, movies, of course, even songs, right? We see these fictional characters and we cheer them, admire them. It's particularly in brief periods of time. I mean, think about some of the most famous actors from the 1930s. Almost all of their most memorable parts are anti-heroes. James Cagney, Public Enemy, Edward G. Robinson, Little Caesar, Paul Mooney, Scarface. Now, while adults were cheering those anti-heroes in the movies, their children are actually enjoying a brand new crop of heroes in comic books and on the radio. You had Dick Tracy, the Lone Ranger, the Green Hornet, and then by 1939, Superman appeared. Now, interestingly, if you think about this, the backdrop to these heroes and anti-heroes back then was the Great Depression, the longest period of prolonged misery, hopelessness, and anger in this country since it became an industrial powerhouse. Today, the nation is dealing with an authentic hero in the form of basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. We're also, though, dealing with the real-life anti-hero, Luigi Mangione. Now, there's a cryptocurrency in his name, and something happening also that's pretty ominous. People are actually taking now posters of insurance industry executives. They're putting them up across cities, akin to essentially putting a bullseye on them. Take a look.
Do you see this? Do you see this? Deny, defend, oppose at the bottom of it?
All right, folks, joining me now, National Review staff writer Carine Downey, along with Boston Globe editorial board member Carine Hajjar. All right, let's talk about this because your generation has really embraced Mangione. A big swath of him.
The Italian stallion criminal,
yeah,
allegedly, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's actually the scariest part, is that we're having a hard time divorcing the alleged offense from his physiognomy and his kind of caricature as this almost like movie guy. That's what I think our generation is obsessed with, is his sexual appeal, which I find very disturbing because this was a blatant assassination of a CEO in broad daylight. Actually, well, early, before the dawn broke, and business can't operate.
But even before we saw him without his shirt on, right, Carine, we were seeing posts immediately going up showing how often United Health rejects folks for insurance claims. It's double the industry average. And so there's obviously anger out there. People are upset. Hey, I have health insurance. Every time I go to the doctor, they don't take it, and it might be something else. There's a sort of anti-corporate backlash. And again, you think about Ted Kaczynski. There's a lot of folks who find him to be something of a hero. So it's a real-life anti-hero, but it gets scary when we start putting up posters of people saying, hey, here's another potential victim.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is
target.
Exactly, and it's an activist generation, and I think that in a lot of cases this year we've seen activism just go too far, whether it's anti-capitalist activism like this last instance, or if we're talking about posters, what about ripping down posters of hostages held in Gaza? I mean, it is just an activist generation that will say or do anything to justify their ideology.
All right, this brings me to something else that's interesting. Wall Street itself, right? They're running out of ways to make money. Okay, they really are. There's a big article yesterday about the complex debt and bonanza, different kind of things that they're doing, and they're trying to make money because hedge funds. We're going to put up a chart. Hedge funds just aren't making the kind of money they used to make, so they're buying everything that moves. And you heard people grappling when they bought for all the mobile home parks, and they jacked up the price. Now they're looking at gaming, sports teams, music rights. These are really risky things that people don't normally want to buy, but it shows that even Wall Street has a sense of desperation. That makes me nervous for the investors.
Yeah, I think, Charles, if you have a big appetite for risk, and obviously it wouldn't be maybe a college endowment fund, or it wouldn't be, another fund that's trying to be a little bit more protectionist, but I think sports, music, gaming, I think there's a lot of opportunities there because entertainment seems to be booming. I think a lot of people are bullish about this economy. They are, I think, doing leisure. They're still attending sports events in person. Yeah. And of course, there's the advertising.
And we saw CPI number too, so they're still able to hike prices. I got to get to one other thing since we're on the topic of money and investing. So someone on Wall Street Bets posted, looking to marry someone with 1 million plus short-term capital gains in Los Angeles, California, because he has a $1 million tax loss. And he wants to take advantage of the tax system and says he's got a slight preference for females, but open to males too. So, Carine, I mean, listen, the guy's sitting on a big loss. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to get married to someone. What about taxes? Would you ever consider that one?
Look, all I can say is take away this guy's Hinge profile. He ends that post by saying, I'm not a total loser, I make good money, whatever, but take away his Hinge profile. Pretty hilarious. I mean, people get married for all kinds of reasons. Green card marriages, people look for dates to weddings, so why not taxes?
I think it would be an excellent romance movie plot. We'll call it Hedge Marriage. I take you to be my wedded tax haven, to have and to hold in richer and poorer.
I love it. I mean, we can see if it lasts like for the next tax season, right? They go off and live happily ever after. But it really is amazing to me. But this underscores why maybe we should fix our tax code, right? And make it less complicated. And also maybe less burdensome. We want people investing, not worrying about profits being taken by the government. Ladies, I shortchanged you on time. I'll make it up for you next time. Glad we really hit where we were, though. Thank you both very, very much.